the Java Sea. This name conjures up images of exotic spices, ancient trade routes, and perhaps pirates sailing under the blazing tropical sun. It's a place where history and nature intertwine. The Java Sea is more than just a name on a map. Its warm tropical waters lap the shores of several Indonesian islands. Sumatra, Java, Borneo, and Sulawesi form its boundaries, creating a unique marine ecosystem. The Java Sea is relatively shallow compared to open ocean depths. This shallowness, combined with its tropical location, creates a haven for an incredible array of marine life. For centuries, the Java Sea has been a vital waterway. It has served as a maritime highway connecting different parts of Southeast Asia. Today, the Java Sea faces new challenges. Join us now as we delve into the depths of the Java Sea, exploring its past, present, and future. The Java Sea is not just a single expanse of water. It is dotted with hundreds of islands, each with its own unique character and history. These islands vary in size from tiny, uninhabited coral atolls to large volcanic islands teeming with life. This scattering of islands across the Java Sea has shaped its history in profound ways. They provided stepping stones for early human migrations, enabling the spread of people and cultures throughout the region. Ancient mariners used the islands as navigational markers and safe harbors. The sheltered waters between the islands provided protection from storms and pirates. Goods, ideas, and religions flowed along these maritime routes, connecting east and west. However, the delicate balance of these island ecosystems is now under threat from human activities. The Java Sea holds more than just geographical significance. It cradles within its depths a rich tapestry of history, woven over millennia. Sunken cities, shipwrecks laden with ancient treasures, and remnants of once thriving ports lie hidden beneath the waves. These underwater archaeological sites offer a glimpse into the past. They tell stories of maritime trade, naval battles, and the daily lives of people who depended on the sea for their livelihoods. Traders from India, China, Arabia, and Europe sailed its waters, bringing with them their own customs, beliefs, and technologies. However, these underwater treasures are under threat. Protecting the Java Sea's underwater cultural heritage is about understanding our shared human story. The Java Sea wasn't merely a backdrop for history. It was a stage upon which empires rose and fell. Long before European powers arrived, indigenous empires flourished in the region, their fortunes intricately linked to the sea. The Srivijaya Empire, centered on Sumatra, rose to prominence around the 7th century. They mastered the art of shipbuilding and navigation, commanding the maritime trade routes that crisscrossed the Java Sea. The Srivijaya Empire's wealth came from controlling the flow of goods, such as spices, incense, and precious metals. Another powerful empire that left an indelible mark on the Java Sea was the Majapahit Empire. Centered on Java, the Majapahit rose to prominence in the 13th century, inheriting the mantle of maritime power from the declining Srivijaya. Their control over the Java Sea was paramount to their success. The aroma of cloves, nutmeg, and pepper wafting on the sea breeze became synonymous with the Java Sea, as it became a crucial part of the legendary spice route. This network of ancient sea routes connecting the east and west brought immense wealth and cultural exchange to the region. Arab traders, drawn by the allure of exotic spices, navigated the monsoon winds to reach the islands of the Java Sea. They brought with them not only goods, but also Islam, which gradually took root and spread throughout the archipelago. The arrival of European powers in the 16th century, eager to control this lucrative trade, added another layer to the Java Sea's history. The Dutch East India Company, established in the early 17th century, aimed to monopolize the spice trade. The Java Sea became a melting pot of cultures as traders from different continents interacted and exchanged ideas. The exchange of knowledge, beliefs, and artistic expressions enriched the cultural tapestry of the Java Sea. The arrival of European powers marked a turning point in the history of the Java Sea. The Dutch East India Company, driven by profits from the spice trade, gradually extended its control over the Indonesian archipelago. The Java Sea, once a conduit for free trade, became tightly controlled, with Dutch ships enforcing their monopoly over trade routes. The Dutch established Batavia, present-day Jakarta, as their capital in the early 17th century. Batavia became a bustling hub for trade and administration, attracting merchants, adventurers, and laborers from across Asia and Europe. The Dutch colonial period had a profound and lasting impact on the Java Sea and its surrounding islands. The Dutch introduced cash crops such as coffee, sugar, and rubber, transforming the agricultural landscape. The legacy of colonialism continues to shape the social, economic, and political realities of the region today. The Java Sea, a silent witness to centuries of trade and cultural exchange, also bore witness to the horrors of war in the 20th century. During World War II, the region became a battleground as Japanese forces invaded Southeast Asia. The Java Sea became the site of one of the most significant naval battles in the Pacific War, the Battle of the Java Sea. In February 1942, Allied naval forces clashed with the Imperial Japanese Navy in a desperate attempt to halt the Japanese advance. The Allied forces, outmatched in terms of numbers and firepower, fought valiantly, but ultimately suffered a crushing defeat. The wrecks of warships, sunk during the battle, now lie scattered across the seabed, serving as somber reminders of the human cost of conflict. The struggle for independence left an enduring legacy, shaping the political consciousness and national identity of Indonesia. The Java Sea is a vibrant tapestry of life, a dazzling display of biodiversity that rivals the world's most celebrated marine ecosystems. Beneath its sun-kissed surface lies a hidden world teeming with an astonishing array of creatures, from microscopic plankton to majestic whales. The warm, tropical waters of the Java Sea provide the perfect conditions for life to flourish. Centuries of volcanic activity in the region have enriched the Java Sea's waters with nutrients, fueling the growth of phytoplankton. The shallow waters of the Java Sea, bathed in sunlight, create ideal conditions for coral reefs to thrive. The Java Sea is home to over 3,000 species of fish, representing a dazzling array of shapes, sizes, and colors. The Java Sea boasts some of the most extensive and diverse coral reefs in the world. These underwater cities, built by tiny coral polyps over millennia, provide shelter, food, and breeding grounds for a staggering array of marine creatures. The reefs of the Java Sea are a kaleidoscope of colors, shapes, and textures, each coral species adding its unique beauty to the underwater landscape. Branching corals, resembling underwater trees, provide shelter for small fish and invertebrates. Delicate sea fans, their lace-like structures swaying gently in the current, filter plankton from the water. Among the coral branches, a fascinating cast of characters plays out their lives. Clownfish, their bright orange bodies adorned with white stripes, seek refuge among the stinging tentacles of anemones. While the coral reefs teem with life, the open waters of the Java Sea are home to some of the ocean's most impressive creatures, the whales. These gentle giants, some reaching lengths of over 15 meters, migrate through the Java Sea, following ancient routes in search of food and breeding grounds. The Java Sea is an important feeding ground for baleen whales, such as blue whales and humpback whales. These whales, once hunted to near extinction, are slowly recovering, their presence a testament to the resilience of nature. The sight of a whale breaching the surface is a truly awe-inspiring experience. The Java Sea is also home to several species of toothed whales, including dolphins, porpoises, and the elusive sperm whale. The Java Sea's biodiversity extends beyond its coral reefs and open waters, encompassing a variety of coastal habitats. Mangrove forests, with their tangled roots submerged in salt water, form a protective barrier along the coastline. These unique ecosystems provide nursery grounds for fish, crabs, and shrimp. Seagrass meadows, often overlooked but equally important, carpet the shallow waters of the Java Sea. These underwater gardens provide food and shelter for a diverse array of marine life, including seahorses, pipefish, and dugongs. The health of one habitat directly impacts the health of the others, highlighting the need for a holistic approach to marine conservation. The Java Sea, with its incredible biodiversity, faces numerous threats from human activities. Overfishing and destructive methods deplete fish stocks and damage coral reefs. Pollution and plastic waste introduce harmful chemicals, leading to algal blooms and marine life entanglement. Climate change exacerbates these issues, causing coral bleaching and ocean acidification. The Java Sea, once a pristine paradise, now faces threats that jeopardize its delicate balance. Pollution, overfishing, and habitat destruction threaten its ecosystems and livelihoods. Industrial discharge and agricultural runoff poison the waters, creating dead zones. Coastal cities add to the pollution burden, making conditions hazardous. Among the many pollutants plaguing the Java Sea, plastic stands out as a particularly insidious threat. Plastic, a ubiquitous material, has become a scourge on the marine environment, transforming from convenience to menace. The Java Sea, surrounded by densely populated areas, has become a major sink for plastic waste. Plastic bags, bottles, fishing nets, and other items flow into rivers and canals, reaching the sea. These fragments accumulate in massive garbage patches, creating floating islands of trash. Marine animals ingest plastic, mistaking it for food, leading to starvation. Sea turtles, seabirds, and marine mammals become entangled in plastic, causing injury and death. The plastic plague has far-reaching consequences for the Java Sea and its creatures. The coastlines of the Java Sea, once fringed with lush mangrove forests and pristine beaches, are undergoing rapid transformation as coastal development accelerates to accommodate burgeoning populations and economic growth. While development brings with it jobs, infrastructure, and improved living standards, it often comes at the expense of the environment, particularly in coastal areas where the land meets the sea. Mangrove forests, vital nurseries for fish and other marine life, acting as natural buffers against erosion and storm surges, are cleared to make way for shrimp farms, tourist resorts, and other development projects. The loss of these critical habitats not only diminishes biodiversity, but also exposes coastal communities to greater risks from rising sea levels and extreme weather events. Coral reefs, already stressed by pollution and climate change, face additional pressures from coastal development. Sediment and runoff from construction sites, dredging activities, and land clearing smother coral polyps, blocking sunlight and hindering their growth. The destruction of coral reefs, often described as underwater rainforests for their biodiversity, has cascading effects on the entire marine ecosystem, disrupting food webs and reducing the availability of fish and other marine resources. The Java Sea, for centuries a source of sustenance for coastal communities, is now facing the consequences of unsustainable fishing practices. Overfishing, driven by increasing demand, inadequate regulations, and the use of destructive fishing methods, has depleted fish stocks, threatening the livelihoods of those who depend on the sea for food and income. Large industrial fishing fleets, equipped with sophisticated technology and gear, have the capacity to catch vast quantities of fish, often exceeding the ability of fish populations to replenish themselves. This unsustainable harvest disrupts the delicate balance of the marine ecosystem, removing key predators and prey species, and altering the food web dynamics. Destructive fishing methods, such as dynamite fishing and cyanide fishing, exacerbate the problem. Dynamite fishing, using explosives to stun or kill fish, causes widespread damage to coral reefs, destroying the very habitats that support fish populations. Cyanide fishing, using cyanide to stun fish for the aquarium trade, poisons coral polyps and other marine life, leaving behind a trail of destruction. These short-sighted practices, driven by immediate profits, have long-term consequences for the health of the Java Sea and the sustainability of fisheries. The Java Sea, once abundant, now faces pollution, overfishing, and climate change. Its future depends on collaborative efforts to protect and restore it. Governments, businesses, and communities must act now. The Java Sea's fate is in our hands. Our choices today will shape its tomorrow. The Java Sea, despite its challenges, remains a place of hope. Its resilience offers optimism amidst environmental problems. The fate of the Java Sea rests in the hands of those who value it. Pollution, overfishing, and climate change necessitate a holistic approach. Recognize the sea as a fragile ecosystem demanding our respect. Growing awareness offers hope for the Java Sea's future. The fate of the Java Sea lies not solely in the hands of policymakers and scientists, but also in the hands of those who live along its shores and depend on its bounty. The fishermen, the coastal communities, the everyday people whose lives are intimately intertwined with the sea. These communities, often the first to witness the impacts of environmental degradation, are becoming increasingly vocal and active in advocating for the protection of their marine resources. Fishermen, once driven by competition and the need to secure their livelihoods, are embracing sustainable fishing practices, recognizing that protecting fish stocks today ensures their long-term prosperity. They are forming cooperatives, setting catch limits, and adopting fishing methods that minimize bycatch and damage to habitats, demonstrating that economic viability and environmental stewardship can go hand in hand. Coastal communities, once resigned to the degradation of their marine environment, are taking ownership of their coastlines, organizing beach cleanups, planting mangrove trees, and educating their children about the importance of marine conservation. They understand that a healthy sea is not just an ecological imperative, but also an economic necessity, essential for tourism, fisheries, and the well-being of their communities. Transitioning to a more sustainable future for the Java Sea requires a fundamental shift in practices, from the way we fish to the way we manage our waste and protect our coastlines. Embracing sustainable fishing practices is paramount to ensuring the long-term health of fish stocks and the livelihoods of those who depend on them. This includes setting science-based catch limits, reducing bycatch, and eliminating destructive fishing methods such as dynamite fishing and cyanide fishing. Promoting responsible aquaculture practices, particularly in shrimp farming, is essential to minimize the environmental impact of this growing industry. This includes reducing pollution from effluents, preventing the destruction of mangroves, and adopting sustainable feed practices. Adopting circular economy principles, where waste is minimized and resources are reused and recycled, can significantly reduce the amount of pollution entering the Java Sea. This includes promoting waste reduction, improving waste management infrastructure, and encouraging the use of reusable and biodegradable alternatives to single-use plastics. Restoring the health of the Java Sea requires not only preventing further damage but also actively working to repair the damage that has already been done. This includes restoring degraded habitats, such as coral reefs, mangrove forests, and seagrass beds, which play crucial roles in supporting marine life and protecting coastlines. Coral reef restoration projects, involving transplanting coral fragments onto degraded reefs, creating artificial reefs, and reducing pollution, offer hope for reviving these underwater ecosystems. Mangrove reforestation efforts, involving planting mangrove seedlings in areas where they have been cleared, help restore these vital coastal buffers, protecting shorelines from erosion and providing habitat for fish and other marine life. Reducing pollution from land-based sources, such as industrial discharge, agricultural runoff, and sewage, is critical to improving water quality and creating a healthier environment for marine life. This requires implementing stricter environmental regulations, promoting sustainable agricultural practices, and investing in wastewater treatment facilities. The future of the Java Sea is a story yet to be written. Protecting this resource is a shared responsibility. It requires collective action from everyone. Educating future generations is essential. Inspire them to become guardians of the Java Sea. Let us choose wisely and act decisively. Ensure the Java Sea thrives for generations.